Hi there, I'm Kelly Gable, and I am the owner and creator of the Tech Savvy Academy. All right, so it is our second week of email marketing and automation training. So last week we talked about what you need to do and how you need to evaluate specific platforms to see if they are the right one for you or not. So if you have not gotten a chance to watch that training yet, make sure you start there. Each week is going to build off of the previous week throughout the entire year, but especially within a specific month. So make sure that you're watching them in order, even if you think you already know all of it. This time around, as I was doing some research for last week's training about the platforms and stuff, there was new information for me to learn about them this time because they're constantly evolving, constantly changing and trying to be the system that you're going to want to buy. So really, you can never learn everything about that. You can never learn too much. And we talked about 4 of the most commonly known and most popular options that are out there right now. So definitely I recommend that you go back and check that out first. But I hinted at the end of last training that this week we were going to start to talk a little bit about what on earth you should send to your email subscribers. And this week, we're going to be talking about the first email series that you want to create for your business. So let's dive right in, okay? So we're talking about the first email series, and an email series is really, it could be just one email, but in this particular case, and in most cases, I'm going to recommend that you do more than one email for your series for a number of reasons, but the very main one is simply the fact that most people require more than one touch to really pay attention and especially to buy something. So it's important that you kind of get into the routine and the cadence of sending out your information or whatever it is that you're providing to your audience more than once, because expecting them to react to it on the first try is, well, it's unlikely. It will happen on occasion, but it's unlikely. So with regards to questions, so this is not a live training this time around. Long story, but essentially because I tried using a new system for training this week, and you know what? It just wasn't worth it. So instead, I'm just doing this pre-recorded training. But go ahead and drop your questions in the comments, and I will make sure to come back and answer any questions that do come up. In the live training, there was an actual Q&A box, but for you, just go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I will come back to them at the end. Or actually not at the end, because that would be if this was live, which it's not. So yeah, so I will come back to them later and make sure to get them answered for you. Okay, so what do I write? So you started building your email list because I won't stop telling you to do it. And finally you thought, okay, well, maybe I can give it a shot, right? So you've started that. You started to set up a platform and get yourself ready to capture emails. But what do you write about? Like, are you just supposed to repurpose social media content, turn it into an email? Are you supposed to send emails out about all your products and services and everything that you have to offer, your free challenge, all of that stuff? Are you just supposed to send them, you know, when you do a blog post or a video or something like that? Well, the answer is yeah, all of those things. You are absolutely supposed to send them all of those things. However, there is one thing that you should send them first so that they are a little bit more receptive to all of those things, okay? And what that is a welcome series. When somebody first signs up for your list, they first join your list, they don't know you well enough yet to care about any of the other stuff. They don't care when you've done a blog post. They don't really care that much about your social media content, because most likely that's where they found you. So they're already seeing your social media content on social media, right? And absolutely, you don't want to start out of the gate by trying to sell them something, because think about it. If somebody comes to your door and first thing that they do when you open the door is try to sell you something, how likely are you to buy that realistically? Unless they're Girl Scouts selling delicious cookies, but that's about the only time, right? So what are the chances that a new email subscriber is going to be any more likely to buy something from you on the very first email, if that's a sales email, right? Doesn't make sense. Even if they signed up for a free offer of yours, some sort of free challenge or a freebie or something, you still don't want to follow right up with a sale or a launch of something, because you need to put a little more, you need to put some more deposits into that trust bank. Okay, you need to show them that you're not just about trying to take their money, that you actually want to know them, that you actually want to provide real value for them. Okay. Okay, so these are my top tips for you to make a good impression, a good first impression with your email series. Make them feel special. Show them from day one that they mean more than money to you, that you want to actually establish a friendship. You want to welcome them into your family, whether that's your coaching community or it depends what you're doing, right? Even if you're making products and selling products, you still have some form of community and, fostering that relationship and that audience is so important. Even think about the brands that you spend money on out in the world, whether you're a Mac user, or you're a PC, or you're an Android, or you're an iPhone, or I don't know why those are the only ones coming to mind, but they're creating for you a very specific community and a very specific environment and atmosphere to be in. And even when it's just products, it's not services, it's not coaching, something like that. So you should absolutely try to do the same thing for them. And this doesn't mean you have to send them, personal emails that, you've written specifically for them. We will use personalizations in our emails to help them feel more directly connected to. But really, it's the same thing for everyone. You want them to see and understand that they matter to you, and, as an individual, and not just because they're a potential sale, right? Second thing is to let them get to know you. Okay, so we all hear about know, like, trust factor. It's all over where all the mentors, all the big coaches, and all the, everybody like that, we're all talking about know, like, trust factor. But one thing I think is not always addressed about that is that they need to go in that order. It's not just that those words in that order sounded best. Think about it. You have to know someone before you can decide to like someone. And really, you kind of have to know and like someone before you can really trust them. So it has to go in that order. And that means that when you send them emails, it can't always be just about them. We're kind of conditioned to believe that we need to always put the focus on them and ask them questions about themselves and be good listeners. And that is all 100% true. But in this first email series, there has to be a little give and take. They need to feel invested in you and who you are and what you stand for. But how do they do that if you never tell them who you are and what you stand for, right? They need to know that in no uncertain terms. And it may be clear somewhat in your branding. It should be clear in your content, your messaging, but not on day one. They're not going to know all of that right out of the gate. So really, the best thing that you can do is just straight up tell them. And something that I include in this email, which is what I call my getting to know you welcome email, I include a very easy, not hidden at the bottom, part of the email place for them to just go ahead and click unsubscribe. Because if they have jumped into my email list because of one particular thing that I put out there that that caught their attention, they were curious about, but in reality, they're really not going to be my ideal client. And, I'm not someone who's going to be able to really help them the best. Then I want them to feel completely free to unsubscribe and just leave. No hard feelings. Like, honestly, there's no point for you putting out the effort consistently trying to, quote, convince someone that you can help them. If they don't see that you can help them, then they're not the right person for you, right? And it's a waste of your energy to try to convince them. They'll see it when they're the right person, okay? So let them in a little bit. Tell them a little something about you personally, maybe. I mean, you don't need to go super personal, but, just let them get a sense for your personality and just who you are. And then let them understand, give them a picture of what you have to offer, but not in a selling way. Not like, here's my products, here's my services, not like that. But like, this is the kind of transformation I can provide to you. Or, and if it's product, you might feel like, well, what transformation, right? But that's still plausible, right? I mean, I'm thinking about one of our members off the top of my head, Alyssa. She sells and creates like personalized stationery and things like that. So you can still provide a transformation without providing a service. You just have to figure out what that is. Like, what is it that is making this person interested in what you have to offer? So maybe it's, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to give a great example on that, but let's say, for example, it was, personalized day planners and something that, is going to help them organize their life or their business. So then your transformation for them, even though you're giving them a product, is you are taking them from cluttered to organized, right? So you can still talk about it from a transformation perspective, products or services. And that's something that you can easily put into this email that does not come off salesy, because it's not. You're not giving them any links to where they can buy something or even talking about a specific product. You're helping them understand the feelings that they're going to get and that they're going to have from connecting with you and working with you. Okay. So that's how you want to treat your getting to know you welcome email. And then the final thing is just blow them away with value. So my email series is typically a 3 email series. The very first one is going to provide them with, if they've signed up for some sort of freebie or something like that, it's going to give that to them. The second one is where I make them feel special and I tell them more about me, let them get to know me and who I serve. And then in the third email, that's where I give them more free stuff. And when I'm talking about free stuff, now we're going to talk about this in the group in a couple of months, but when I'm talking about free stuff, I'm not necessarily talking about like a consultation or a discovery call or breakthrough session. Those are fine, but realistically over time, those are going to take it out of you. The return on investment for you time-wise, unless you're closing those free consultations in a sale every single time, you're going to burn out. And it's going to really hold you back mentally, because you're going to feel like, as much as you're going to appreciate all of those sessions, you're also going to feel resistant to it because you can't keep up that pace. There's absolutely no way that you can keep giving away your time for free at that level and grow and scale your business. It's just not practical, right? So your freebie needs to be something that they can get immediately, download, or a special training, or it could be a bunch of different things. That's something that we'll, like I said, we'll brainstorm in a couple of weeks, or months, I mean, but really, like, give them even more. So you're going to have more than one freebie that you can offer. Whatever they got from the first freebie, whatever they used to opt into your email, give them your other ones here, because it's not giving them something you would normally sell. You are giving them other things they could have come across online, but that are still going to be of value to this person because they are a part of your community and they are looking for exactly what you have to offer. So don't just give them a bunch of random stuff. Make sure it's thoughtful what you put into this email so that they are getting something that every time they open something new, they're like, oh my gosh, even more value, right? There is an argument to be made that there's so many freebies out there these days that it's becoming a bit cluttered, a little bit of digital crap, for lack of a better word. And so I kind of agree with that to an extent. I mean, I think if what you're providing is truly, truly valuable, then it won't turn into digital clutter for them. But at the same time, maybe give it to them in some different formats. So maybe one thing is a PDF and another one is a video that they can just consume and get information and then move on and not have to hold on to, right? So we can get creative about that. And like I said, we'll talk about that in a couple of months, but definitely blow them away with value in this very first series so that they know that your emails are worth opening. Okay, so now what? So you're starting to understand that you need to start this relationship off in a very specific way with intention, but maybe you could use a little guidance. Maybe you understand the concept, but you're not sure, like, how do you write an email like that? So I am actually going to give you my getting to know you welcome email. I turned it into a template and I'm going to give it to you just for being on this training. Okay. So all you need to do is go to that link that you see at the bottom. Try to keep it simple so it's easy to remember, but I will also drop it in the comments for easy clicking. In the group, I did provide this link last week as well in the training. Probably jumped the gun on that, if I'm honest, because we hadn't really kind of gotten that far yet, but that's okay. So I will drop it again here. It's the same one. So if you already pulled it last time, you don't need to grab it again. But yeah, this is the next step, is to start creating these emails. And also to come back next week for training, because next week we're going to get to the automation piece of email marketing and automation. So today is really about the marketing side and how to start off that relationship. But next week is going to be getting down into the system and actually creating an automation. Okay. So if you have any questions, make sure that you drop them in the comments and I will come back and do my best to answer through them and all of that. Or if we're going to be talking about it in a future training, then I will let you know that as well.